This is very similar to finding the area of composite shapes that we looked at already, except for this time we're looking at it with circles. So now that we know our formula for the area of a circle, we can do these types of problems. I'm going to start by finding the area of this rectangle part at the bottom, just because rectangles are pretty easy. Now, I highly suggest that you write down every step, only because, guys, it's really going to get mixed up if you try to remember all the numbers. So, to find the area of the rectangle at the bottom, I would do 20 multiplied by 25. So if I take 20 and multiply by 25, that gets me to 500 centimeters squared. That's this whole portion right here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change colors, and I'm going to start to chip away at this semicircle part right here. So if I were finding the area of a full circle, it would be pi r squared. So pi is 3.14. Now, here's where the tricky part comes in, is finding radius. Okay, it's not given to you. It's not just sitting there. But I do know that since this is 25 centimeters down here, then the diameter up here is also 25. So if I can take 25 and chop it in half, that should give me this radius right here. So if I cut 25 in half, that gets me to 12 and a half. That's my radius. So I'm going to take 12 and a half, and I'm going to square it, which means I have to multiply it by itself. So I'm going to take 3.14, I'll use my calculator, and I'll take 12 and a half times 12 and a half. 12.5 times 12.5 gives me a pretty big number, 156.25. Okay, a lot of work to be done in these. So now, I would be finished with the area, except for I only have a semicircle. I don't have a full circle. So when I multiply these two numbers, I'm going to end up cutting them in half. Let me start by taking 3.14 times the 156. So the area of the full circle would have been 490.625. But I am going to cut it in half because it is a semicircle. A lot of steps here. So let me cut that in half. I am going to round it a bit because I just don't want to write all these crazy digits down. So 245.3. Now my very last step would be to take my area here and my area here and put them together. So my total area, if I add 500 plus 245, okay, a lot of steps for these. You have to keep track of your circle formulas for sure. This portion can be a lot.